really believe that Douglas has played a huge part in my energy levels and me regaining normality.
The individuals that saw Douglas have had significant improvements in health, morale, and that's affected the business no end.
I know that I can go to Douglas with confidence and get the pain taken away.
A weight had been lifted from my body. That's the main thing from me. It's almost like I've been carrying around this negative energy or extra weight.
Thanks, Douglas. Thanks very, very much for my life.
I think his healing is really fantastic.
Douglas is coaching plus. It's not just the tools to enable you to create your goals and make sure you achieve them. It's about understanding that plus, giving you the incentive from the energy that you have within to really make sure those goals are achieved. Very special work. Yeah, I'd recommend him to anybody.
Right, welcome to the first episode of Conversations with Douglas. It's great to be here. I'm Silvia. I work for an international news company based in the US, but I'm here in Belgravia, London today to meet with Douglas, international healer and visionary. Hello Douglas, it's great to be here and thank you for accepting for me to ask you some questions about your work. And it's very interesting. You helped so many people and groups for many years to help with healing and in the journey of self-discovery. So I would like to start with the first question. Can you please tell me how energy healing is perceived in different cultures?
Well, I would say that definitely healing is accepted much easier in America than most places in the world. I do remember going back into 2002, I think it was, when I was in Frankfurt. There was a seminar there or convention. There was a lot of people there, and I know there was about 10 medical doctors in the front row, and I was explaining to them the white paper that had been brought out by the government, talking about the 3 different categories of alternative and complementary medicine. It was very interesting because they asked me to do a speech to the congregation or the delegates there, and I thought that it was going to be a difficult situation purely because the medical profession was there, and I thought they're not going to receive me very well. But in actual fact, it was most of them that asked all the questions and were really interested in the work that I was doing. After the seminar, we met up, and I must admit just about all of them were so interested in what we were doing, and it only followed by a few months later that they drew up their own laws and regulations to allow healing to be used in Germany. Now, you go back to around about the 2000 mark, healing wasn't really accepted very well in a lot of countries. Portugal, for instance, Spain, for instance, that wasn't accepted so well there because of the Catholic Church.
I see.
So you almost worked undercover, and it was similar in some other countries that were like that. I never had any problems in Austria, or I never had any problems in America. In fact, I was warmly greeted in America, and they certainly believe in all of this. So it's been a tough journey, to say the least, because as much as spiritual healing was very much around just after the war, energy healing became quite difficult to put across, and it's only in recent years that it's been accepted. And I would say that yes, it's definitely being accepted more now than it's than I feel it's ever been in the years I've been doing it.
Do you think that has something to do with the pandemic as well, perhaps? How people are more open now to alternative forms of healing, or?
I wouldn't say they're open to it. I think they're desperate.
I see.
I mean, we have now the COVID, which made a lot of people very ill. And it was very, very difficult for people to get medical attention. We know that in this country alone, the medical profession is very thin on the ground, trying to support everybody. And I think this is where the healing has come to the forefront, because where do you go?
So it's almost as if the fear of that has opened up people more about the healing, receiving healing. It's like when people are facing difficult situations, they almost don't remember their beliefs or anymore. So, for example, you mentioned that some cultures with the religious strong Catholicism, they were not so open about energy healing, but you have seen a recent change also in those other cultures?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, at the moment with healing, if you get a situation, let's take COVID for instance, and you go to the hospital with COVID, and if you've got long COVID, there's nothing they can do about it. They just take your name and address and your details, and if you have any problems, you go back there. They don't have, at the moment, any cure for it, as far as I'm aware. But the results that I've had with long COVID is amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay, you've got to have several treatments. I'm not going to say it eliminates it, but it certainly helps it. Helps people getting back to work. But I feel healing is coming more and more to the forefront, purely because there's a shortage of medical people out there to do their job. And I always work on the basis that I work with the medical profession and certainly not against it. So.
Thank you so much. Sorry to go back to this, but I'm just really interested to know what are your thoughts about the long COVID, and because some people may not even know that they are struggling with daily activities because of long COVID. But certainly you have a request from clients that what are the symptoms that they are facing after they recovered from the COVID. They still come to see you because they feel like tired or exhausted. How do they feel?
Well, the symptoms that I've seen, and I can only say from what I've seen with long COVID, have been they're lethargic, their lack of energy. Some of them are finding it difficult to sleep. Of course, the repercussions are also that I've known several have started to drink a lot more alcohol. They're not working. They certainly don't have energy to go anywhere or do anything. And that seems to be generally the symptoms. There's other symptoms, of course, with people saying that they cough a lot and things like that, affecting their lungs. We don't know enough about it. And there's no answers at the moment. So we really don't know. And of course, each time a different variant comes out, it produces a different problem.
I see. So despite the cultural background or the personal beliefs or cultural beliefs, when people are in need for healing and help, they come and see you. And one thing you mentioned just as you started to talk before was medical doctors. Have you had also experience with healing with different types of people, including medical doctors?
Oh yes, I mean, I would say certainly over the last few years, probably 5 or 6 years, I'm now starting to see a lot more doctors who are coming to me totally exhausted. So I'm helping them with their energy levels to build them back up again. And the insecurity, I feel, of the problems that are out there. I mean, they're grossly understaffed and grossly overworked. And they're lovely people, but they need help as well. And it just doesn't follow through with doctors, it follows through with dentists as well. members of the government, celebrities, of course. A lot of people are still exhausted from this pandemic. I mean, we're looking now 3 years and people are still struggling with it, and they haven't got their energy levels and they don't know why. So yeah, I mean, I've been able to help a lot of people.
What is the feedback you receive after providing a healing session to even like I think about the medical doctor, because usually there has been a bit of a separation, I find, between traditional medicine and energy healing. So, but if a medical doctor comes to see you for a healing and they are satisfied with it, I think it's kind of a revolutionary.
Well, it is, but they don't discuss it amongst friends. They might suggest that they come along, so they'll suggest to their friends that should come along and see me, but they don't advertise the fact that they're getting healing.
But you receive the feedback from them to say that.
Yeah, I get the feedback because they will send me a message saying that, I feel great this morning, I feel a lot better and I'm okay.
That's amazing.
But you've got to remember that, they're under so much pressure that the healing will stay up for a week or two, but after that, they burn themselves out because they're continuing on with the same job, so they need another treatment. But that's their decision. They get good response from the healing and it helps them, and that's what it's about.
That is so, thank you so much. I mean, that is, I find it really, really interesting because, this is like, I can imagine someone is come for a healing, get better, and then restores the energy, and then because of the way we are living at the moment, it's easy to burn out again. And so what would you suggest? What would you recommend to have like?
Well, one thing that the COVID has done has got all of us staying indoors for that 3-month lockdown. And this is where a lot of people have started to eat badly, the wrong types of food, obviously into alcohol, and a lot of people smoking an awful lot. When they closed the businesses down and locked down, none of us knew when we would come back. We came back in 3 months, but it could have been 3 years. No one knew what was going to happen. And if you think about that, people started to get out of sync with their health. A lot of people did take up running and doing physical exercise, but there was an awful lot of people that didn't. And of course, people were scared to go to the hospital because of the virus. And they were obviously not able to meet up with friends and neighbours. So it was a very difficult time that they all went through. I don't feel that we've actually got over that. From what I'm seeing in my clients is that they still have a residue of that lockdown. It still affected people, and you can see it even going on public transport such as trains and buses and aircraft. People are nervous. Some people are very nervous. Some people are fine, but some people are very nervous about it.
And thank you, because this resonates so well with me and so many other people I know that are struggling still, and they haven't recovered fully, and they don't know why they're not well. Because they went to do the blood test and they are okay. For example, I'm just talking about some people I know my age, and they have regular medical appointments with the GP, but everything seems okay, and yet something is wrong. Something is not at the energy level. Like they can't do what they could do before, and they can't take exercise again, and so. It's good to know that there is some other form of healing that we can benefit from.
Yeah. Well, I can only talk about myself, but I can only say that yes, I've had good results. They're not instant. They're not. I mean, some people will say they're miracles, but they're instant. They're not instant, should I say? They take a bit of time. And I know one particular person. It took 8 sessions to get him back to work because he was off work. And with 8 sessions, it got him back to work again.
Okay. Okay.
And he'd been off for 3 months, on top of the 3 months lockdown. So, yeah, he was in a pretty bad way, really. But I'm still seeing people with long COVID even now.
Yeah, so it's definitely not over yet, and
I don't think so. I don't know. I can't somehow see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I don't want to be negative, but I think, you know, we've got a long way to go yet to people to get their confidence back. A lot of people have got their confidence back, but there's a lot of people still that are a little bit wary going into big crowds, and people that are worried about getting on buses. You still see people wearing masks on buses and on tubes and trains. So yeah, I mean, I still feel that the confidence isn't there yet totally.
yes, I see. And also there is like so many people who have the opportunity to choose with hybrid work, if working remotely or working in the office, they still prefer to avoid commuting and to avoid, because it's like of the fear of, so agoraphobia is like another, and there are a few people I know that have got agoraphobia now. They can work from home and they don't leave the house, they get the shopping delivered. Have you happened to provide healing also to people who actually have the agoraphobia?
Yeah, I have seen them, and I do see those people, and you know, they are very scared. And I have been asked when I've seen the people and I've gone to their homes, and they request me to wear a mask, and which is absolutely fine. You know, we've still got masks out there, we're still using them. But, you know, we've got to look forward, and we've got to be positive that we're going to get rid of this, and yeah, we're going to move on out of it.
Thank you so much for this. Just, I know, for example, I have had a tangible experience of the healing. I saw how you work, and I know how you work, but for those who have no idea, when we talk about healing, just to give a picture, to provide a picture to people who have no idea about how this works, would you be able to explain how it works for a client who is experiencing these difficulties and can come here and benefit maybe from even one session? It's possible to?
Yes, I mean, basically one session will certainly help you with the anxiety and the stress. It also does help in many cases with sleeping, and to calm people down, because they are still very uptight with the pandemic and the way it's affected them. And anxiety is one of the worst problems that I'm coming up against. And so, yes, the healing in one session alone will certainly help with the anxiety. It depends on how severe it is. I mean, if you've had something for months or years, you can't expect one healing just to do it all, but it will at least show you that it works. And I feel that with the healing, once you start having a few sessions, your body gets into the rhythm. And yes, the healing does help you sleep better, but it certainly does help with anxiety.
So it helps also to reconnect with oneself, and
yeah, naturally.
I mean, I'm just very curious to know if it's possible that actually the healing also provide the client with the ability to eventually heal naturally after some time. This is what I understand. It's difficult to understand, but I think I do.
No, I mean, the healing basically kickstarts your own self-healing. The energy that goes in there can be quite enormous, but it helps your body to recover. So it just takes a little bit of time of your body to get back into that rhythm of recovery.
It does make sense, actually. It does make sense. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think we have we're right at the end of this first episode. There is so much more that I would like to ask you, but maybe we can meet next. We can meet next time for some more questions. Yeah.
No, certainly. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.